Mm. 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 Oh, hey Julie, how you doing? How you doing? Well, it looks like we have come to this project again, the learning contract. And you know what? Let's just jump right into it. You Start with the first one. The student changes self-care strategies to increase their effectiveness. So the strategy I had for that was I will ask for support when I identify challenges in my placement. I will make sure I am fulfilling the requirements of my learning objectives and use my weekly supervision to get feedback and support to ensure that I am on track. I will keep track of my physical activities to make sure I'm getting enough exercise for the day. All right. So I did say I will get this done by week 7, but even though I did it, I think I got it done before that week. I feel like I basically, I guess I went back. Yeah. So I'll explain that in my evidence. So for the evidence I said, the evidence I have for this section is I've been going to the boot camp on Thursdays at church where we do a series of exercise for an hour. I've also joined a gym and tried to go as often as possible. But with the ending of school, my anxiety on the rise, I haven't been going as much as I wanted to. I'll be showing you a picture of me at the boot camp getting ready to sweat buckets. You hear me? It's buckets, man. It's buckets. Yes. My cousin's girlfriend, oh, not girlfriend, fiance, she basically runs it at our church. So let me show you this picture. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hey, it can't rotate. Hold on. So, there. This is my girlfriend. That's me right there. And there's my cousin's fiance getting ready to make us sweat buckets. Buckets, buckets, buckets. And yes, that's my drum. The one I was talking about. I love playing. I don't know if you see it in the corner. But somewhere there, yeah. Right there. Yeah. Alright. So, yeah. Well, yeah. Like I said in there, that I didn't, even though I completed it before week 7, I basically took a step back because of everything I have to do. So schoolwork, work, my actual work at my restaurant, and I have placement. There was just a lot on my plate at that moment, and I didn't know what to do. So yeah, I took a little step back from that, but I'm gonna get back on track just now. Hey, just now you're gonna see a different Kashawn. Don't wait, just wait on it. I mean, don't wait, just wait on it. All right, number 2. The student documents the impact of their social locations on their professional practice through comparing it with other persons, either a practicum client, supervisors, or team member. Hmm. So, what I wrote for. Oh, shoot, where'd it go? What I wrote for the strategy was I will use my social location to get a better understanding of who I am and what entitlement I have over another person. I will also try to do a power flow for each of my clients and see whether we intersect or not in certain areas. I will do this by asking open-ended questions or from talking with my peers and supervisors so that the youth doesn't feel pressured or overwhelmed with what I'm doing. So, from that answer I gave you, the feedback you gave me was basically don't do it on the client. I'm guessing because it could have been triggering. And so I decided, okay, don't do it on the client. I think you said you to do it with people in the office. So that's I basically did it with amplifiers, which basically exactly what you said that will happen with the clients basically happened with them. I didn't know how much burden I guess they felt while doing the power flower because they were looking at the outside and then seeing the inside and saying, wait, why do I have so much outside? I don't even feel like that I have the power more, I feel like I'm less of a person. But I'm like, I honestly just want to get it over with. I'm like, guys, I know you're thinking so much, but come on, guys, this is your social location. Don't make this basically like, don't make this overwhelm you and those stuff. I didn't think it would have went like that at all. I thought it would have just done it and it would have been great. So what I wrote for them was that instead of doing the power floor with my clients, I did it with my amplifiers. I understand why you wrote in my comments that I couldn't do this activity with the clients because it could be somewhat triggering. Even though I gave the power floor to them, they complained so much. Well, I have a picture of each amplifier that did the power flower. You could say the amplifier was going through meaning making. The process someone goes through in making sense of their experience. And that's from the Fletcher Garfet 2015, page 17. Honestly, it was. They're basically taking meaning from that power flower. So meaning making. Yeah, that's why I tried connected it with. So let me see the picture. So I'll show you a picture of them that when they completed the power flower. Where are you? Okay. Turn the camera around. So that's them, the amplifiers of the office. So that's Rana. She's on We Have Something to Say. Chris, he is the social media for our our office. Also, he's also one of the Hair Story amplifiers. Smyrna, she's basically my right hand person for Hair Story, but she's basically on the other side of Hair Story because my side is advocacy, while hers more is like social media and branding and those stuff. And then Amanda Wusu, she is on, what is it? We Have Something to Say, I believe. Yeah. So yes, they all did the power flower for me. They're honestly the greatest people that I could work alongside with, and I'm very happy that they were there because through all the tough times, they were right beside my side. All right, I guess on to question number 2 under diversity. The student documents the impact of their social locations on. Wait, I just did that. Hold up. Number 3, I mean. Sorry. The student uses creative activities with young people to enhance inclusion and acceptance of diversity of their peers. Yeah, and diversity. So what I wrote under strategy is I will use the two truths and a lie game to promote inclusiveness. These youths are coming from all over the province: Ottawa, Windsor, Brampton, and Toronto. And there is not enough time for them to be close knitted as you would want them to. With the mini icebreaker activities, they get little sense of their peers and what similarities they share. So, from under evidence, I wrote instead of doing the two truths and a lie game, what the advocates and I came up with was to make the youth write on a paper during breakfast about strengths and assets they could bring to the group and not write their name on the paper. At the end of the meeting, we handed out the paper and made them read it out loud. Then told them there are many talents in the room and we as a group need to encourage each other and push to see better for our black community. Michael Burns wrote in the Healing Space book about therapeutic milieu, the special environment where the child and youth work or interact in the process of growth and change. 2006, page 2. This activity did exactly that, and the video of the two history advisor explains that. Yeah, so I'm gonna be showing a video of two of the advisors. I do have their permission to show you the video. Also, I do have a picture of showing you the amplifiers, a permission to show you the amplifiers too. So I hope you could hear it. Turn up the volume as loud as possible. All right. One. Hi, my name is Ayana, and my name is Jamar. We're part of the Hair Story Advisory Committee. We So yeah, I hope the video came out clear. So just to basically go over that again. So basic activity was during breakfast. During breakfast, I gave them a sheet of paper, and I wrote, "Could what assets, strengths, anything do you bring to this group that nobody would know about you?" And I did this early in the morning, just when they're having breakfast, and I kept it in my pocket. And at the end of the day, when we're giving our debrief and we're wrapping up, it was pretty of an intense day. So, yeah. So I basically told them, I gave them the paper, each person a paper, and I told them to read it out loud. They don't know whose paper they got. So some people said they're good at social media. Some said they're good at math. Some said they play the saxophone. I was shocked when I heard that saxophone. Play the saxophone. Somebody said the rhythmicity of sound, so they know like the frequency of how to. They said a lot of stuff. I was shocked when I heard it, and in the end, they basically noticed that, hey, I never knew that person did that. Somebody in here does that, that. But that was the whole point. I want them to see that within our group, we have like we have many talents that could help each other in here. So I'm basically trying to make them more closer, giving them basically one girl said she's a math tutor. Now in our group, if somebody's struggling with math, they could go to that girl, ask her for a little help. So we're making our little community. We're trying to make a little close knit family. That's what I would have said. Everything for I do it. I usually try to do it to make it as a family. I want to make people see that we are one. Because how are we going to be working for Hair Store and putting them on different platforms to talking about situations what they've been facing their entire life, and then basically they don't know what to say because they're having problems their own self. They need unity. They need to build that bond that they could trust the other person beside them to go through life. So yeah, I really like the activity. I got to know them even better. This weekend at our advisory was one of the most powerful one, I think. People really opened up. Um, I guess on to number 4, applied development. So I wrote for this one. Well, it says the student assesses a young person according to developmental, including physical, emotional, cognitive, social, spiritual functioning from a strength-based perspective. Um, so the strategy I put for this, I will use the journal I receive from my placement to assess the youth I deal with on a regular basis. Afterwards, I'll have a conversation with my supervisor and discuss all the things that I gathered and observed about each youth. Also, see if there's anything we should do to improve your facility to encourage the youth to participate more. So, the evidence I wrote down for this is ever since I received my black journal from one of my supervisors at the advocate's office, I haven't stopped using it. Every time we have an event or a meeting, I take it with me. If you open my journal, you will find the names of each youth that I have interacted with this semester and the traits and qualities I've seen in them. I noticed that when I get the chance to debrief with my office team members, I have more to bring to the table about the youths. For instance, I was able to talk about how the youths were uncomfortable at a certain focus group we did. Linda McLean, I can't say her name properly, and Heather Ross, You and Others book writes, according to Carton's critical reflection helps us re-examine our point of view once we have experienced the consequences of some significant event. So for the next advisory meeting, we made sure we told the youths ahead of time that we are going to have a focus group. We told them some of the questions ahead of time and pushed them that activity early in the morning so that we could debrief afterwards. So before I show you basically the thing that helps me a lot, I'll talk about that a little bit, a little incident that happened. So during one of our meetings, I guess our focus meetings, we basically brought in somebody that was doing some research from Ryerson University on kids in care, and he came in at like the ending of our advisory. It was like I think it was our first advisory that we brought him in. Honestly, it was the worst idea from what I heard from the youth. It was the worst idea because we were a new group and we were basically making them open up, say stuff that they're not comfortable with. I never had no idea what was going on because I was just a new student there, just a patient student. I never knew they were going to do this. But in the beginning of the meeting, basically, if you didn't have any experience with CAS and kids in care, children aid society, you couldn't be in the room. So there's like two of the amplifiers that had to leave. Two of the we call it, the amplifiers in our group had to leave, and then I had to leave because I had no experience in CAS, or also another person that was with me, one of my person that was with me. We all had to leave. So we were just in the room and we were just there, and they're basically saying how come we can't be in there. So we had people that's outside complaining, well, why should we can't be in there? We have somewhat experience in care, but it's not really with them. It would be like a family member. So they felt like they should have been a part. And then when the people that were in the focus group, they complaining about being so heavy that they couldn't really take it. People were in there crying, and we didn't really set up a safe zone for them yet because it was just our first meeting. So after I received, they didn't tell that to like the main advocates of the office. They basically told that to me because they seen me as like somebody their same age, and they came to me and I wrote it in my book. So this is my insert. This book right here. This book has been with me since I guess what 6 months now. Let me open it up. So it has like different notes that I've been writing about the youths and the meetings we have. Like we make agendas. Like the book is full. Like yeah, I don't know if you see it. Yeah, it has a lot of things on there. Different icebreakers at one time. So, and basically, I took this to one of our meetings, and I opened it up to like our debrief, and I told them that the youths were very upset about how the focus group was ran, and I don't think we should do that again to them. So for this time that it was like what, four more advisories we had, and another focus group wanted to be a part. They totally forgot the recommendations that I told them from the first time we had our first debrief. And luckily, I somewhat forgot, but when I remember focus group, I remember what did I write in my book. And I quickly told them that, hey, I don't think it's a good idea to put the focus group at the end because of what happened last time. And we should put it early in the morning and basically the day before, prep them that there's a focus group coming and what questions they're going to be asked. Honestly, that was a perfect idea. Everybody went into the room. So on Saturday, we told them that our focus group was coming. And then on Sunday morning, they had the focus group. So they were prepared and they knew what was going to happen because of what the first experience was. They knew exactly what was going to happen, and they were all right when it came out. And the people that couldn't be in the room, they were perfectly fine because we had stuff to do with them if they were not able to be in the room. Because the first time we were not prepared for people that are not going to be in there. So yeah. So this book right here, sorry for the mess, but this book right here is basically the lifesaver for me. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, that was one of my supervisors, Michelle. Great lady. She helps me with a lot of stuff. And she gave me that book. And I think she went on her whole own way and paid for it for me. Yeah. So, I guess number 5. The student applies evidence-informed relation practice to respond to the needs of young people and families. So, I wrote under strategies. I will make sure I have done research about the topics we have discussed in our meetings. For instance, statistics of black males in chair compared to white males and how that affects our community. Also, connected to theory, for instance, Brown submitted on how our communities play a big role in how we see the world. So, this one was very interesting. This question was very interesting. Um, Luckily, I think last week, 2 weeks ago, me and Kevin got the chance to go to a meeting. Um, oh, never mind. Good, perfect. Got to go to a meeting, get something on my bag, and I'll basically just read my evidence first. The evidence I have to say I completed this competency category is on April 11, 2018. I went to a workshop about how to respond to a mental health crisis as it relates to black community called mental health first aid for working with African Canadian clients, facilitated by Nene Kwasi Kafili. I can't say the name properly. I'm so sorry. The Healing Spaces book by Michael Burns it's states it perfect. All children have the right to be part of a cultural group and to be free from overt circumstances. The children within the million must also feel known or understood culturally. 2006, page 123. What people need to realize is that the way someone else reacts to mental crisis could be different pertaining to the ethnicity. As CYCs, we need to be well diverse to deal with all situations for that client. So, like I said, on April 11th, me and Kevin, my supervisor, basically got the chance to go to this mini workshop. And it basically talked about how to deal with clients that have mental health issues for the black community. I never knew how different it is to deal with a client with a black, like somebody that's black. Like I had experience with my aunt and those stuff, mental illness, but I didn't know that it could be different compared to a person that's Caucasian. And he basically broke that down in many ways. So he gave us this booklet right here, and it goes through like many things, like different scenario questions, um, what things we should have in place. Let me see exactly. Some examples of social inequalities, racialized disputes affecting African Canadians and their health and mental health. Like this booklet goes on and on and on. It was like it was a great seminar. And in the room were basically CAS workers, like head CAS, like managers. And honestly, I was in that room and I was shocked at the things that people were saying, because I'm like, here am I just basically graduating, and these people don't know how to answer the question, like the scenario question they gave us, and they didn't know how to answer it. And these people have been in the field for how long? I'm here thinking, like, what are they really learning? They're not learning anything much. Like, they're just basically, they're following old routines. What was that? Following old routines and basically being stuck. So I guess we, the future, have to come in and change things. So, yeah. Nene, kudos to you, Nene. Kudos to you. I'm going to be trying to go to more of his workshops, because he talks about workplace safety, and being black, you are more traumatized. You could be more traumatized in the field. I never understand that, but But when he explained it in a brief little synopsis, it made perfect sense that we are more prone to be traumatized in the field than other people. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 6, the student identifies specific relational and intentional intervention used to maintain positive relationship with the child, youth, and or families. So I said for this, I will use proximity when dealing with a client due to my size. Being a large African Canadian male could be intimidating and triggering for certain individuals. For example, if I'm standing over them. If I'm standing over them. Where am I? If I'm repositioning my body to accommodate smaller people, it may help me be more approachable. Makes perfect sense. Bigger guy, little person, get scared, run away. Change my body shape, maybe go on my knees, talk to them. Totally different. So for my evidence, I wrote, I know I completed this goal because I know the relationship I have with my clients. I'm able to be close to them without them feeling uncomfortable. Being with a group for with a group for a school year and seeing them on numerous occasions, it's like we built a mini family that can call on them in stressful times in our lives. The great things is the great thing is we are so close even though we are so far apart in distance. I'm going to show you a video of me and a client just being happy and dancing. Literally, that's all we did. At the end of our session, we just started dancing. Okay, where are you? So this is another person in our advisor. One of our advisors. Where are you? Okay, here it is. Give me a minute. Hold on. Oh, I rewind it. Hold on. Yes, look at that. Jeez, jeez, is that you, Kishi? Yes, that's him. Terrence, that's his name is Terrence. Good guy. He's actually a rapper, Christian rapper, and he's very amazing. But basically, we made that bond. We just make, honestly, we, we go there, we talk about issues, but we all know that, hey, we're all facing the same issues and we're one. So that's how we build that bond, really. We just joke around, have fun. Because even though it could be a very stressful, like all the stuff we talk about could be very stressful. People just laying out all their baggage in front of you and those stuff. And it's how you deal with it and how, what you do to cope and those stuff. So we have to have those little mini sessions at the end to like relieve some stress. I even think that time was around Christmas time. So yeah. So I think that's how I finished that question. So for number 7, so that I wrote. So the what it says for that number 7, the student creates a unique contribution to their practicum workplace to enhance relationship with the other professional and community partners. So my strategy, I wrote, I will be planning to create a video series based on the major theme that Hair Story is pursuing within this year. So for this year, the major theme is mental health. I will hope this legacy will be passed on to the next youth amplifier to continue as the project continues to develop. I already told you about the video I was making, so this is what I'm going to say on that. So the evidence I have, I'm still working on the video currently for the advocate's office. I honestly thought this process would have been easier, but every time you think you get an idea, something comes up and changes everything. Even though my time as a placement student is coming to an end, I'll be going to the office and continue with the project. What I've done for the video is research 3 different mental health that is common in the black community, which are anxiety, PTSD, and bipolar disorder. I will be emailing this to you, but instead of email, I'm just going to put it in the video. Maybe I'll still email it. So also, I'll be showing you the first draft of the script that the amplifier and I did, but had to change because it was too generalized. We needed to be more connected to the black community. Fletcher and Garford wrote, Phelan, 1999, argued that one of the essential tasks of a child and youth care worker is to arrange experiences for people, experience that promote the possibility of new beliefs for the people we support. 2009, 2015, page 18. This ties into purposeful use of the activities, and I know this video has a lot of purpose for the black community. We tend to hide, basically uncover mental health because it's. We tend to hide mental health because we see it as a negative, but we need to realize it's a part of our lives and not going anywhere. So the whole point of my video that I wanted to do for Her Story was, and basically what I said was, we as black people, we tend to hide mental health because we see it as a weakness. Like, like even with my aunt, we don't hide it, but we don't tend to talk about it because we feel like if we talk about that's something negative, we don't show weakness in our family. But I think now we are coming to realize that, hey, just in case, make sure we have our own precautions up to keep safe. So what I have for that, I'll show you. What they made me do was basically research about the three mental illness. So the first one is PTSD. You see it? Yeah. What helped me for this one was actually in our mental health course. I did some of this already, so I just used some of it. So yeah, PTSD was the first one. Then anxiety was the next one we did. Most of this information is from CAMH website. And then the last one, bipolar disorder. Yeah. And we talked about different things. So they basically split up the categories. So it describes, then the signs and symptoms and behaviors, and the last was contributing factors. So I'll basically read you a little piece of our script. So from the first one we created, didn't go as well, so we just started the second one, and this is based on anxiety. So it basically starts out, a woman heading to an interview walking through the streets of downtown contemplating on how the world perceives her. The topics of appearance, social class, relationship, discrimination, or occupation are covered as a whispering voice adds more fuel to the woman's anxiety. So basically, we're making a black girl come out of her house, getting ready to go to an interview, and while walking down the streets, she's basically hearing an inner voice that's basically discouraging her and those stuff. So her being like, walking down the street, oh my gosh, are these people going to hire me because of my skin? Is my hair done right? Did I put the right cream? So it's more of a mild anxiety. We don't want to go too deep because we knew that it might get maybe too intense that people will say like, hey, you guys should never have done this. So we just want to make it something very mild. We don't make it too deep. So I'll read a little bit more. So scene one. Woman rushes out of her apartment in a hurry while fumbling with the objects in her hand as she embarks on her journey to a job interview. Woman, damn, I should have left earlier. Drops her phone and camera and shows her reflection as soft, quiet voice starts to whisper. Voice, in a whispering volume, is in a snarky tone. Hey you, oh look, we're running late. Woman, oh shit, I didn't realize that the time has passed and I can't Uber there either. Scene carries out watching her walk through the streets of Toronto. As she's walking, many people glance at her in her passing. Voice, it's showtime, eyes are on us. Hey, you see that lady that just passed us? She gave you one of those looks. Fi- Final woman. What? Stage direction. Scene 2. Random woman walks past the main characters, give her a subtle glance as if she's judging the appearance of the MC woman. What? Was she looking my way? Voice. Oh, for sure. I'm pretty sure she is. And I'm pretty sure she gave you one of those looks. So, basically, you get the idea, basically. It's basically, this script was off the top of our head. It's not fully written out properly. But I could show you. So, yeah. That's our mini script at the moment. Maybe I could see if the old one we had, maybe it's on here. Here's to a mental health project. So yes, we have our older one. So this is the first one we created, about anxiety. So I'll tell you this one. A young woman's walking down the street downtown Toronto. Man runs past her and slows down, starting to match the woman's pace. Thus, through the spiral initiatives, initiatives opening with the girl freaking out about the man slowing down. Man is rushing outside of the alley to catch the bus that he usually catches to head home after work. Up, upon running out to the alley, he rushes past the young woman where she starts to have. So this is basically her inner thought. She's like, "What the heck? Why is this person so close? Is he trying to talk to me? Is he going? Is he going? Does he want to rob me? Sexual? Condense? Why is he grabbing me? Is he waiting? How long is he gonna follow me? Oh my gosh! I have my clothes are too short or something." So basically, that's the inner thoughts. That's basically how we were doing it first. But we figured that, hey, that could be for anybody, anybody that experiencing anxiety. But we wanted to be more towards the black community. So that's how we changed it to maybe the girl talking now about her hair and her braids. And because are people looking at me because of my skin? If she called me a monkey, it could be anything. That's why we could do it more like that. So, yeah. Even though we haven't got the project done, I am still gonna be going to the office to complete this video because I think it's going to be a very powerful video. And no matter what, the office can't get rid of me. Even if I don't get hired there, they can't get rid of me. I'll be working alongside them, even if it's for free. So, where are you? Number 8. The student applies critical feedback from various sources to improve professional practice. Hold on, I need to get one of them. My evidence. Here you are. Give me a minute, so sorry. I have a lot of papers. All right. So, I wrote for that evidence. The evidence I have for this section is my supervision notes. I constantly ask, do you see any improvements since my time in the advocate's office? If so, how? If there wasn't any change, could you tell me and how I could improve? These qualities are very important and should be asked by every placement student because the feedbacks is what makes us a better employee. So when you are in the field, you shouldn't be making the same mistakes. Many modern day child and youth care practitioners still feel called to the work that they do. They are passionate and devoted to improving the lives of children, youth, and families. Stewart 2009, page 7. If you are passionate about your work, you want to see how you can improve. So basically, that is what I wrote for that. Honest, every time me and Kevin have our little meetings, our little get-togethers in his office on Wednesdays, I always ask the same question: do you see any changes in me? And if not, how? If not, tell me. Could you please tell me something or what I should do to change? I think it's very important because we go through. We think as a CYC going to the third year, you think you know everything. You honestly think you okay? I'm coming in here saying I know a lot of things, and I should know a lot, and it's not right if I don't know anything. And I basically learned how to basically humble myself basically when I'm going to the office, because now I didn't even think I could be working in an advocate's office, a big government place. It's like it still shocks me to this day. Like how am I even there? And I always ask, hey, Kevin, what I need to do better, what I need to change, and if is there something you did like that I did here? That's something I constantly ask in all my supervision. So let me see if I can find. So I would talk about like if like for the TDSB event that we had with the 400 CUSC students. Oh shoot, never mind. I don't hear that yet. Well, I did do some event like that. I was not supposed to tell you because that's in my last one. So I'm like, in my supervision, what is the TDSB meeting going to be about? So this is like the week before, and then the week after, I asked, was there anything I need to improve on from the TDSB event? I always, because I was a little stumbling, but hey, I still need to ask what I need to improve on. What do I need to work on for the advisory meeting coming up? Do you notice any improvements in my work, my working style? So that was for week 9. I wrote that. So and that was under student questions for supervisors. So this one right here, week 9. Yeah. Also on week 10, I asked basically the same thing when I was doing an interview. Could I get feedback on my interview for the amplifier position? So I'm always asking for feedback, and that's what we need to do as people going into this field, and even when we're leaving this field. Yeah, actually stepping into the field. Yeah. So for the last one, number 9, we have come to the end, Julie. We're coming close to the end. Oh, it's almost touching an hour, 43 minutes. Shoot. Number 9, the student increases their professional skills through engaging in healthy new professional behaviors. So, for the strategy I wrote, I will become more conscious in my everyday life based on the fundamental experience I gained from from working at the advocate's office. For instance, my organizational and interpersonal skills are guaranteed to improve. Also, my knowledge awareness will increase because of my heightened knowledge of the issues around systemic barriers and the rights of children. Wow, that was powerful, Kashan. Pick up yourself. So for my evidence I wrote, my evidence for this section was the week 4 when I got the chance to speak to 400 CYCs in the field about my placement project, Hair Story. I had to kick my interpersonal skills into gear and work collaboratively with my colleagues to make sure I'm ready to present. This was my first presentation for Hair Story, and to do it in front of such a huge crowd was nerve-wracking. But the constructive feedback that I received from I received and actually listening and applying it really helped me to get through my nervousness. So I did tell you about this. They basically, the office sent us out to talk to 400, my gosh, CYCs that have been in the field for a, a, a long period of time in the TDSB. Here are my student teaching, basically the teachers. I was like, I was just a scratch head moment. It's like, shouldn't they really be teaching me? So that's where my nervousness started. Because I'm like, hey, I can't teach them. They should really be teaching me. And what could I really say that really will catch their mind if they should have learned this from before? Little did I know they didn't know as much because they're facing so much things, so much struggle. Like after our presentation, it went very well. After our presentation, they basically said, "Oh my gosh, what you guys said was very powerful. I wish you guys could come to my school and talk about this because I'm I'm here." Like one lady told me a story of this one this Caucasian kid basically saying the word nigger to a next kid, and she basically tried to tell the teacher that, hey, when your student said nigger, and the teacher basically brushed it off like, oh, nah, he just probably heard it from some song or da da da. No, no, no. And this the person I was talking to was actually a Caucasian lady too. She was shocked that, hey, why is this kid saying it's totally wrong? And then when I bring it to the teacher just brushes it off and is like, wait, what's really going on? If she could realize that's a problem, why couldn't the teacher realize that that was a problem? So I'll show you a little clip of me talking during our meeting. Yes, that's Richard. He always talk about you, your best friend. Yeah, so yes, that was a little piece of a snippet of that day. That day was very powerful because even after the speakers that came afterwards, they just basically enlightened my. They basically gave me more information on how to deal with police, being a black youth, and I was like, wow, the little things I should have knew from before. So just in case I told my friends that they shouldn't get in trouble in certain ways and what they should do to get out of trouble. So that day was very powerful, and to be in a room full of CYCs, my own people, it was great. So, Julie, I guess this is the end of my learning contract. Oh, the end of term, graduation time, time to leave the school. Honestly, I just want to thank you for taking the time to deal with me in general. I know I'm a handful, joker at times. Well, at times, I mean all the time. But I always knew I was there to learn. And with the environment that you set up, It was a good space to learn something every day. Might have little hiccups, but hey, we all get hiccups, and that's how life is. We get a little hiccup, but we bounce right back. And that's what we do at CYCs. Hiccup, bounce back up. Hiccup, bounce back up. So I thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. See you later.